Hey, good evening. I hope you're having a great day. Today, I kind of want to talk about budgeting, but I thought about it more, and that's really boring. But the reason I thought about budgeting was because every single time you talk to anyone about investing, about starting a business, about anything, they pretty much say, I don't have time or I don't have money. And really, those are just excuses. They're not, you don't really not have time or money. I think for most people is they just don't want to make the time and money maybe to kind of commit to that business or to investing or to whatever it is, right? And I think a lot of people actually realize this. I've realized this going to like investor meetings or whatever, that a lot of people like figure this out like when they're probably, I don't know, like in their 50s and 60s, and they're like, oh, shit, like I gotta work for like 10 or 20 more years and then I'll be poor, right? Like you need, so I don't know. I think it's just better to get started sooner or later. I think I was also really scared too at first, and then once you start doing it, it's not as bad. But so like I want to talk about like time and money, right? Time is obviously the most valuable thing, and I think for me personally, I waste so much time, or I used to waste so much time playing video games, watching TV, all that stuff. And granted, you do have to do that stuff every now and then because it helps you relax, it helps you unwind. You got to give your brain a break, right? But I think that I personally, I'm not going to say about what other people do, but I feel like a lot of people just do what I used to do, where I would just watch TV all day long. I'd sit at home and I don't know, I'd sit somewhere and be bored and start like for like 2 seconds, I would feel like just like scroll through some stuff. Next thing you know, you're like an hour deep into like some YouTube video about like how like grass grows under a plank or something ridiculous, right? So I think it's really good to look at how you use your time. And it's really easy to do, right? Like if you're sitting there watching TV, how many hours do you do it a week, right? That's easy enough to figure out. If you look at your phone, or at least my phone gives me a summary of how much I used it, and I click on it and it tells you how much time I wasted on like all this stuff, right? So that's like number one thing. And then from there, you can be like, okay, I can actually use this time, be more, I don't know, mindful with the way you use your time. And then money, same thing. I figured out, I didn't really make a budget. Well, at first I just figured out what I spent money on, and it was just a bunch of dumb shit, right? All the toys, all the stuff that I'd never used, all the subscriptions, all of this stuff that was just literally like pissing money away, right? So I figured that out, and then I figured out like, okay, let's make a budget. So I make this much. I need this much for a car, this much to live, this much to eat, this much for gas, this much for insurance, blah, 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 right? All that stuff. And then you kind of go back from there. And then I have like this much money left over. And what a lot of people do is like, okay, I have like this much money left over, so I can go buy some other shit. That is wrong. Don't do that. Unless you're buying like some rentals, then do that. But I think, I know for me personally, it was always hard because you'd always be saving money. And like to me, I'd get to like a certain amount, and then I'd be, up there on Facebook or doing whatever I was doing. And then this car pops up, right? For me, that was my problem. Like this car, this Jeep, this whatever it was would pop up. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. That's nice. That's a cool Jeep, right? Or cool car or whatever. And then you're kind of just scrolling by, and then like pops back in your head like, you know what? I got some money in the savings account. I could probably buy that. And then you like scroll, and then you end up buying it, right? So that's what I used to do. I kind of still do that. But anyway, just gotta know where your problems are. But I think I used to waste a lot of money on a lot of things, right? A lot of people say like the car thing is a big thing, right? everyone's like, oh, I need to have a new car because I deserve it. Because, yeah, but if that car keeps you, or having that car, that average car for your whole life, but you have a brand new car, and that keeps you from actually having way more money a few years from now, right? Like, the way I see it is, a lot of people pay, let's say on average, $500 for a car, for a new car, right? A decent average new car, not anything cool, right? Anything cool, you'd probably be like 1,000 and up. So you got $500 you're spending on it. You could buy a rental, on a mortgage, obviously, for somewhere in that price range, right? Your mortgage could be 500, and that money wouldn't even be coming out of your wallet, right? It would be coming from the rent that's coming in. But that's kind of how I look at everything, right? If, let's say, not even like a mortgage, let's picture it like you had 30 grand and you could put that 30 grand into a property, right? Instead of buying a car. So that money, you buy a car, it depreciates, terrible investment. You wasted your money, but you enjoy the car, right? We all need to enjoy stuff. But if you take that 30K, put it in a property, you buy the property, rent it out, and off the cash flow, let's say you're making $500-600 a month off of that property. That can buy you that same exact car. But instead of just having a car that's depreciating, you at least have a property that's making you money, and you still have your car. So just kind of think about that. I feel like every single time I talk to anyone, everyone's always, yeah, I just don't have the money right now, or we'll probably have you just got to do it, right? It's like the best time to plant a tree. Same thing with the business. Just do it, and figure it out, and it'll all be good. So I hope this helped, and I hope you have a great quarantine. Bye.